it's amazing to see fans obviously out there, and it's a home field advantage for us.
You are now tuned into Homefield Advantage with your hosts, the GM, Justus General Radford, the Caveman, Michael Lisman. Enjoy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Homefield Advantage. I am one of your hosts, Justus General Radford. That right there, that's my man Caveman. That is my wonderful co-host. And then we got a special guest tonight, another one of my co-hosts from First Round By, also the host of The Lowdown with Jake Jordan every single Friday. Jake Jordan. So what's going on, gentlemen?
Just doing things, man. It's been a real weird thing. It's been a real weird week, dude. There's been like a funk, obviously, and I don't feel like I have to really point that out. Everybody's been talking about it. It's been
miserable.
Yeah, dude. This week, man, it's like a weight on your shoulders, and you can't really get it off because it's something that's just, I don't know, man. It's tough. Absolutely. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing well. I feel like, I haven't gotten to talk to you. I'm used to talking to Justus every week, and I feel like I haven't talked to him in ages. And Jake, I haven't talked to really anybody in a while, I feel like. And then, obviously, I really haven't gotten to talk about much. I mean, I don't know what the last time I talked Bills football specifically was with anybody. But anyway.
In the cave?
Yeah, on the cave, of course. But it's definitely, like Jake mentioned, been a weird week. It's been a tough week. And I think, it's a good thing that our community is rallying the way they are, because, I didn't expect anything less. But it's really such a beautiful thing to see, the city just come together in such a time of need. And it really just emphasizes what our true core values are all about. And, you always see the players, for the Bandits, the Bills, the Sabres, they love to play here because of that reason, and to actually see it come to life, given the unfortunate circumstances, of course, it really is a heartwarming feeling to see, after it all happened. So, at least we have that positivity going for everything at the moment.
100%. Absolutely. It was beautiful to see everybody come out and, to support. I'm sure we've all talked about it at some point. But while we are here, I do think it is important just to, recognize the victims and I feel like it's important to share their names, just so everybody knows, their name, because I just personally feel like that is very important. So I do want to mention Celestine Cheney, Roberta Drury, Pearlie Young, Hayward Patterson, Catherine Massey, Gary Talley, Marcus Morrison, Andre McNeil, Aaron Salter, and Ruth Whitfield. May you guys rest in peace. And our love and condolences are with, the families and everybody affected.
All gone too soon, man. It's very hard when something like this happens so close to home. I just personally to bring something up, the first year that I moved up here to Orlando, the Pulse nightclub shooting happened. And that was like right there, man. And there's just something about it that just kind of brings community together and brings awareness to it, especially when you see the hate that's in the world that was projected onto a certain group of people. In that case, it was LGBTQ people. In this case, it's people of color, African Americans. And it's just, you hate to see it because it feels like it's becoming such a norm in our society for just these things to happen. You're like, oh, they're happening. And it's barbaric in a way. It feels like something out of the Stone Age that we just keep going, all this terrible stuff happens and we don't do anything about it, when, in the society we should be progressive and try to find ways to avoid these things, because this should not be normal. So never forget these people's names, because it always seems to feel like that, after a few weeks, nobody talks about them anymore. And it's really sad.
Yeah. Absolutely. So our prayers and condolences are with everybody affected, and thank you, Jake, for that, and Caveman as well. But tonight we have a show for you guys. We're gonna, since again we say it all the time, this is an NFL show. Okay, this isn't just Buffalo Bills, even though we obviously heavily favored toward the home team. Obviously, got home field advantage, right? You see where I was going with, anyway. So we're gonna go around the NFL. We're gonna talk about divisions, and every year there seems to be like one division that's like super strong, right? And then it's like each team maybe has like at least 7 wins, and then the best team probably has like 13 wins, and the second worst team may have like 9 or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's usually in contrast because they usually stomped all over some rival in another the other conference that they had to play based on who their division played that year. And you see those teams probably a playoff team will have like 8 or 9 wins, right? So I wanted to kind of go through the teams this year, and I'm sorry, the divisions this year, and see which division we think might come out to be a strong division, and see teams with inflated records versus maybe another division where it's weak and you might have like a team with a low win total get into the playoffs and get a home playoff game just off the strength that they won their division. So
Justus, all you had to say was the NFC East, man. That's always the division that gets that.
NFC East plays the AFC South, so I don't know.
Maybe not this year.
See, yeah. I mean, and then, that's why we're gonna go through it. That's why we're gonna go through it. Since we here, we might as well, because that was the first one on my list to you, so we might as well, right? All right, so AFC South, NFC East, right? AFC South. How are we ranking the AFC South, Caveman? What's top to bottom, top 1 through 4? Who's the best through the worst?
The AFC South. I mean, it's got to go Colts, Titans.
Yeah, here you go.
Colts, Titans. I'm gonna go Jaguars.
Okay.
And then Texans, just because you spend a lot of money, it's got to pay off somewhere. So, maybe Trayvon Walker turns a corner earlier than people are expecting. And I mean, the Texans had a pretty solid draft, but I mean, they didn't spend nearly as much money. They don't have the same type of what's supposed to be franchise quarterback under center. So you'd like to think the Jaguars could surpass the Texans in the standing. So that's my ranking out of the 4.
All right, I like it. I think like 75% of the league would agree with you there. All right, Caveman. So he did the AFC South, so that means Caveman got Jake got the NFC East. Rank them 1 through 4.
Oh, geez. Okay, I think that's a little bit harder because these teams
fluctuated.
Yeah, dude. So the NFC East, I always like to dog on them because they're the team that always comes out and has a 9-win team, gets a home playoff game, and it's absolute garbage because any team that comes out of there is usually a fluke. But this year, dude, we talked about it before, we went live. The Eagles are loading up. They just signed James Bradbury today. They got AJ Brown. Like, I'm looking at this team and I'm going, all right, Dallas got
Jordan Davis.
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, they loaded up.
Yeah, they loaded up in the draft and in trades, and also Dallas got marginally worse. Like that they did. And last year they were supposed to be good and they still weren't good, right? So that I don't know. I'm going to say the Eagles, the Cowboys, then I think just based off the defense, I'm going to go Washington. Plus Carson Wentz isn't, he's not terrible. And then we'll think see. the Giants are still going to be last in the division, but I don't think they're going to be last in the division 2 wins. I think they're going to be like last in the division with like 6 or 5. Like they're not going to be a terrible team. They're just starting their rebuild. First year head coach, new GM. So that's how I'm going to go with it. It's going to go Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, and Giants.
That's interesting. I actually give the Cowboys a chance. I'm sorry. I actually give the Giants an opportunity to win that division next year.
See, when I'm talking with my little brother, I'm always saying, I'm like, man, I think the Giants might be better than a lot of, but maybe that's just me having bias because I believe in
Well,
Brian
you have to rank
Daboll.
them today, so we'll
Yeah.
see like week 3 if they look like they
I don't know
actually
if
have
Daniel
a
Jones
clue.
is going to be that guy. You
Right,
know,
yeah.
like I don't know, but you know, as of right now, that's where I have him.
All right, so we ranked our AFC South, we ranked our NFC East. We're not going to go through the schedule, so we're just going to do power rankings based on best team through worst team, etc. Right? So we got Colts versus Eagles. Caveman, who you got?
Colts versus Eagles. I'm going to take the Colts just because I'm very high. Going into last season, I was extremely high on the Colts because I thought, you know, Carson Wentz was going to kind of revive his own career in Indianapolis, and they were going to, you know, be that dangerous playoff team or dangerous AFC team. And I mean, to be fair, they were. It was just Carson Wentz held them back in moments that he really shouldn't have. But I'm going to say the Colts take this game because I think Matt Ryan is what I thought Carson Wentz was going to be, and probably even more. I still think he's a high-processing quarterback in this league. Carson Wentz, I think, had more mental issues than physical. And whereas Matt Ryan probably is not your most physically gifted quarterback, especially, you know, whatever, how old he is, 37, right? But you don't have to be, right? It's the easiest job in football to stand behind that Colts offensive line and hand it to Jonathan Taylor. And now you got Alec Pierce next to Michael Pittman. Those are some two big receivers that can go up and get that ball. I think Julio Jones, and they fast. I mean, they're going to be a good ass team. So I'm taking the Colts here. And if Jalen Hurts takes a couple steps, I think it'll be a closer game. But I'm still going with the Colts.
Yeah,
going on DH.
I would agree with that too, Caveman. Just to throw this in there real quick is my big philosophy is whenever both those teams look like they've loaded up in skill positions on offense and defense, it all comes down to who's under center. And I feel like that Matt Ryan would be able to take advantage and do more than what Jalen Hurts can do at this moment. So I think that it's really good to go with the Colts over the Eagles.
All right, you started talking, but I was about to designate you J squared because I have to label them while I'm seeing who picks who, and I have to differentiate between me and you. So you're J squared, and I'm J now.
I'm J squared.
Okay.
All right,
J squared, and I'm probably going to call you that more from now on. So just
J squared.
Yeah, that definitely is coming out more.
I like that.
Yeah, definitely.
My first and my last name are both start with a J, so there you go, J squared.
I think that
math.
That was the point, bro.
Okay, all right. Eagles Colts. That's interesting, y'all. Yeah, that's true. No, I can't because I can't say what I've been saying. You know how I feel about the Colts and how I'm like I was petrified of playing those people in the playoffs last year. Like I was like, please don't let this happen. Right?
We all were.
Yeah, exactly. And then you go and you add a more stable quarterback who's not neurotic, right? A guy who's won MVPs in this league. He's won Super Bowls. His team just lost it for him. Like, you know what I mean? So like, he legit won a Super Bowl and didn't win it. It's like us. We won the game versus the Chiefs, but didn't win it. It's just sick. But you know, I kind of have to go with the Colts here. So I think we're all in agreement here. That would be Colts or AFC South. 1 total point, I guess. I don't know. We'll see how Justus at the end. All right, Titans Cowboys. That's a pretty good matchup. Titans Cowboys. What you got, Jake?
Derrick Henry gonna run all over that Cowboys defense, dude. Like, and now who they throwing it to? Like, I don't know what they still have. CeeDee Lamb and who else do they got? Michael Gallup. Yeah. Oh, okay. You know, like Zeke doesn't eat anymore. Tony Pollard is probably better than Zeke. And do they still have Tony Pollard? Just for the record, I think they like tagged him or something, right?
Yeah, they got him.
That's Bryant not walking through those doors.
Yeah. So like, and Dak is notorious for putting up those empty numbers at the end of a game when it doesn't really matter anymore. The Cowboys were supposed to be good last year with better weapons, and they weren't. Like, I think this is the last year of Mike McCarthy there. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing. And with the Titans, it's like, I don't really know what they're doing either. They're really just leaning on Derrick Henry now. So, I just think that if it came down to it, I think the Titans could probably control the game more than the Cowboys could with their run game. So I would probably go with the Titans here in this one, and probably a close one.
All right, so we got one for the Titans. Caveman, what you got?
I thought the Titans would be a hot take, but I mean, I couldn't agree more. I was going to say the Titans as well, just because I have zero faith in the Dallas Cowboys to do anything right. They had probably the worst offseason out of any team. I mean, you take the Jaguars, right? A team that spent a load of money incorrectly, took arguably the second best player in the draft over Aiden Hutchinson. And you just sit here and wonder, like, how can anybody have a worse offseason than the Jaguars? I thought the Jaguars had a brutal offseason.
That could be the Patriots.
Or the Patriots for that matter. But I mean, the Cowboys lost so many big, significant names on that team because they paid one dude way too much money, and they had to just get rid of so many players. I mean, it really was horrible, and they already weren't good in the first place, and now they're just dropping big names, letting them walk constantly. I mean, out of all the guys they lost, I mean, they lost Amari Cooper, they lost Connor Williams, they lost a bunch of other guys that I'm not going to remember, Randy Gregory, and they got like a 6th round pick out of all of it for Amari Cooper, like out of all the guys they lost, significant starters. So it's like, it really could not have gotten worse. The Titans have a very somberly decent defense. And if their secondary is able to stay healthy and Caleb Farley's actually able to stay on the field, which is probably not likely, but if he's able to stay healthy, they're going to have a relatively good defense again. And I don't think Dak is going to have that much success on offense. We know the Cowboys defense sucks, so I'm going to go with the Titans as well.
I'm not mad at y'all for picking the Titans, but I think Derrick Henry.
You better have a damn good reason why you're about to pick the Cowboys.
And I got one for you.
All right.
The Titans ain't too high either. Like, y'all not wrong about the Cowboys, but the Titans ain't looking great, fellas. Like, they just lost maybe the most talented player in the league. He's up there in that Josh Allen, Aaron Donald thing, right? He's up there in that crazy, ridiculous ability, right? In AJ Brown, he's gone. And that is really like their only main other weapon outside of Derrick Henry. Now you could really stack the box. You got a Ryan Tannehill who is clearly shaken. Like, he's out here like losing his faith because they drafted a quarterback in the 3rd round. Like, he's telling people, like, I'm not even going to mentor. Like, come on, bro. Like, just teach him how to practice, son. Like, what do you, like, you know what I'm saying? That's serious, bro. Like, like, you don't have to tell people you're not going to mentor them. You either do or you don't. And I feel like you literally had to make a point to say that I'm not going to mentor this kid that has done nothing to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't even picked in the 1st round. Like, what are we doing right now? So I don't know. I think they're shaking. They don't have AJ Brown. Their offensive line is gotten worse. And Ryan Tannehill, I don't know how well he performs under pressure. I mean, I know how well he performs when he's the underdog, when he's coming off the bench to replace, Mariota. What is his first name? Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
And then he balled the hell out. But when he got comfy and he got solidified in his role, he then came and underperformed. I don't know. And I trust Dak more than I trust Ryan Tannehill. So I'm personally gonna go with the Cowboys. I just trust Dak more.
And just to throw this in there too, the Titans drafted basically 2 tight ends that I was mad that they got. And then they also got Robert Foster. Robert Woods.
They did get Robert
I
Woods.
forgot they got Robert Woods.
Yeah, they got Robert Woods in a trade. So I really feel like they're just gonna go play action again and kind of do what their bread and butter is. And I think
I hear you, and you're not wrong about that. Robert Woods is an excellent receiver. He is not AJ Brown.
Oh no, he's not AJ Brown. No.
Yeah, so I just don't know if that's as big of a threat because you have the only reason Derrick Henry isn't the only thing people pay attention to was because you had another bona fide superstar on the outside. Now you don't have a bona fide superstar. You have a bona fide superstar in the backfield. You need to pay attention to him. So I think people are going to load the box more. And I think that might F with their plans because Ryan Tannehill is going to be forced to make passes on first and second down, which I don't know. You're going to have to show me that he's able to do that. You know what I mean? So,
Sure.
I'm going to go with the Cowboys there. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points for the AFC South, 1 point for the NFC East. Jaguars versus Commanders. Caveman, who's going to win the game?
Oh God, this is just such a trap shoot, garbage ass. Oh my God.
Do you
Commanders
want dog crap or
dog?
what do you want?
There's no way to describe how piss poor this matchup is. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, I thought the worst move this offseason was the Commanders going out and just straight up selling the mortgage for fucking what's his name, Carson Wentz. I hated that move. It boils me inside watching them do that. I mean, they paid his entire contract, gave away a few picks for Carson freaking Wentz. It's like,
yo, I swear to God, I'm clipping this.
I can't, man. It's like when teams make dumb decisions, it grinds my gears. It doesn't matter if it affects me or not, because I sit here and think to myself, I know for a fact I'm not smarter than anybody in these executive chairs, but it's just they make decisions like these that make me really wonder. But anyway, the Jaguars, I had Hansel. You know who Uber Hansel is? His process on tap on Twitter. He was on the Cave 2 weeks ago, and he said that his hot take was the Jaguars finish with like 9 or 10 wins and make the playoffs. I'm like, all right, that's kind of out of left field. And he gave a little bit of a reason, and I wasn't hearing
playoffs. I'm not mad at 9 or 10 wins. I don't know about the playoffs. Though.
Yeah, I wasn't like jumping on board by any stretch, but I was like, you know what? It's possible that if things go right with Trevor Lawrence, that defense does turn a corner. I mean, they have a bunch of pretty good players on that defense. If Doug Peterson somehow comes in there and does change the culture in a season, I'll hear out the idea of 8 or 9 wins. So with that in mind, I think, they're going to be able to take down the Commanders because I don't think Carson Wentz has got it. I don't think their defense is ever going to return back to form that it used to be a couple years ago. I think they just completely fell off. And with that in mind, I'm going to go with the Jaguars.
It'll be a repeat of Joey B. Trevi L. going to take his team to the Super Bowl in his second year.
So, not in this conference.
Take that garbage team to the Super Bowl like Joey B did. Hey, we'll see. All right. J squared.
All right.
Jaguars, Commanders.
So I don't know why they got Carson Wentz, man. Like, I don't understand that at all. Again, having me pick between this team and this team is like, would I rather get hit by a car at 90 miles an hour or a bus at 90 miles an hour? Either way, like I'm like, it doesn't matter. So like this game, I think that with Doug Peterson and kind of I don't understand all the spending that Balky did in the offseason, especially with the amount of money he was allocating into guys like Christian Kirk, Christian Kirk, he's great. But for that amount of money, that was a little bit of something. Zay Jones is okay. But for that amount of money, I didn't understand it. But those are still marginal improvements of what they had. If Doug Peterson comes in and he's able to develop Trevor Lawrence more, I mean, anything's got to be better than Urban Meyer. So, like, I don't know, man. This game could go either way. I know that defense is still going to be respectable on the it's always going to be on a Ron Rivera team. But I'm also going to say that I watched that Jaguars defense with Urban Meyer get hot and have fire against us. I feel like they'd be able to do it against the Commanders because I don't even know what that offense is going to be next year. So,
what is up with you? Why are y'all trying to make the AFC so good? Like, what is
I'm not, dude. The NFC is just straight garbage.
I felt like this was a good opportunity to give the NFC a point because the Commanders could feasibly beat the Jaguars, but y'all just trying to make the AFC Bulldogs
Yeah, so again, you're making me just have to choose which pile of crap I'd like to eat. So, like, I don't know. If I'm going to go with that, I'm going to go with the team that under Urban Meyer beat the Bills last year in a game other than the team under Ron Rivera that I don't even remember who was their quarterback last year.
Taylor Heineke.
Taylor Heineke. I went to that game and the Bills absolutely destroyed them. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Doug Peterson with a young team that got marginally better than they were last year.
Quick, hot take. Caveman, who's going to have the first pick next year?
Who's going to have the first pick next season?
I don't know if it's a hot take, but
it's probably going to be between the Falcons or the Bears. I'm probably going to say the Falcons, just because I think they play in a slightly tougher division.
Well, I'll tell you, the Falcons have the 9th ranked strength of schedule, so they're playing some tough teams.
That's the biggest thing. That's what I'm basing this off of. The Falcons definitely having a tough schedule. Marcus Mariota is probably going to be starting. I didn't like the Drake London pick, not because it's Drake London, but I just thought, Calvin Ridley will most likely be returning after a year. I thought they could have allocated that choice to more important positions. But with that being said, I think the Falcons are probably going to be my choice for the first pick next year.
All right, Falcons. All right, there you go, Coach Boone. Coach Boone is one of my favorite people ever. I swear.
Coach Boone, but I'm going to tell you, it's actually going to be the Seattle Seahawks. They're going to be the ones with the number 1 pick next year because they're going to be absolute dog water this year. Like, it's disgusting.
Jake, last time you used dog water, he turned into a stud.
If the Seattle Seahawks with Drew Lock win more than 4 games next year, I will drink legit dog water on camera.
Drew Lock's got that.
Oh, I'm writing it down. I'm clicking
it down. I will drink
more than 4 wins.
More than 4 wins.
4 wins.
They're gonna.
The Lions had 3 wins last year, didn't they? Or 2 wins?
Jake, you are setting yourself up. Hey, you said it, bro.
Bro, Jake, I'm telling you right now.
Now, when they have 2 wins by week 6, you're gonna feel sick.
Probably, but
they could be like 2 and 4, and you're gonna be like,
see, they have the 11th hardest ranked schedule, so I'll take my bet on that. I'm just trying to have a hot take in contrary to Caveman.
He did research. All right, so it's not as much. Okay, all right, I respect it.
Yeah, they're playing a hard schedule, and again, it always comes down to who's under center. And goddamn, Marcus Mariota is better than Drew Lock.
Wrote this down, so we will be
okay. Catch me next year.
Yes, I have. Hey, this is God Blake.
Dogs. I'll supply the water. Bring it up, bottle it up, and mail it to me.
We got the dog water supplied by my man Scott. Okay, all right. Commanders, Jaguars. I hate y'all.
Go ahead, give the point to the Commanders.
Yeah, I know. Take the Commanders.
Oh man, but I don't know why they got Carson Wentz. Like, why? For what? Like, you doing? And they got him so early. It's like, bro, you could have just wait. If you were that desperate, like, I don't know. Like, it's kind of like that one meme from Arrested Development where he was like, "These guys are delusional. They tricked themselves into thinking they could make it work." He was like, "But I'm thinking." Maybe we can make it work.
Yeah, but we can make it work.
So I don't know. I don't know about Carson Wentz, man. But I do think the rest of that team is extremely talented. My boy Izzy. Love you, bro.
What up, Izzy?
So here's the thing. Terry McLaurin is more talented than the Jaguars' best receiver. JD McKissick and Thompson, I believe it is. Who's back there? And freaking boy from UB. That boy is nasty. Yeah. Patterson is better than they got who is that? Travis Etienne. He's coming off ACL. I don't know.
Who knows what he looks like?
I think I trust the Commanders running back room more. Mm-hmm. I trust the Commanders defensive line more.
Yeah.
I really trust the Commanders more in this game everywhere but quarterback. And Ron Rivera ain't the greatest with quarterbacks, so that kind of scares me. But I just trust the Commanders more. I'm going Commanders here.
Yeah, is he just James Robinson's a beast for Jacksonville in the backfield?
He is. Yeah, he is.
He will take your lunch money.
Yeah, he is. No, I'm still going Commanders.
That's fine.
Because the Commanders' defensive line really yeah. All right, so Texans and Giants. Jake, who do you think is going to win?
Here's where I'll give the points to the NFC because the Giants will probably be better than the Texans. Just because I think that the Texans are kind of just trying to rebuild and they got some running backs and, they're going to take it safe. And I think that Brian Daboll, his creativity, they're going to go nuts there with Daniel Jones. They're going to see what they got. Their team, they've been building it for the last couple of years under the other management, trying to figure out what Daniel Jones could do, but they never had the coaches to implement the right game plans to see what they were always just expecting Daniel Jones to be able to do these things that Daniel Jones is like, I don't know if I can do these things. I think Brian Daboll will be able to put a plan in place to be able to figure out what Daniel Jones does best. And I think they will beat the Texans.
All right, real quick, before we get to Caveman's answers, we got another hot take question. Jake, who is the opening day QB for Cleveland? Watson, Baker, or another?
It's other, because if I'm Baker Mayfield, and I mean Baker Mayfield already said goodbye. He was like, bye, Cleveland, I'm gone. And if Watson gets, like, you got to think about this, right? Your wife cheats on you, right?
Funny?
She cheats on you, but then that guy
said it so abruptly.
Leaves. That guy leaves, right? And then she comes back to you and says, "Hey, I'm sorry. I want to get back together." You're like, "No."
Jake will spit on her.
like, I'm not gonna do that. So yeah, if I'm Baker Mayfield, I'm like, you know what? No, I don't know who your third quarterback is, but good luck, because you're gonna have to release me because I'm not playing for you guys after how you guys did me. So I know some people are gonna be like, well, then that goes into Baker's character. Look, dude, he's just waiting to get released. The only reason he hasn't been traded yet is because teams know he will get released. And I think that when it comes to that, I think Watson, no matter how he gets suspended, things that have already come out that he said when he was under oath, saying that a massage therapist cried after their session. Like, when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, all right, this dude's getting some sort of suspension. So he's going to be gone. Baker doesn't want to play there. It's going to be some other dude at the beginning of the season, man.
Yeah. I think I agree. But
it's Cam Newton.
Who I think who was it? Caveman?
It was Jacoby Brissett. The other.
Yeah. Jake said the Giants will beat the Texans. Caveman, who you got? Yeah. Texans or Giants?
What week is this game?
I have no clue.
No.
This is just a power ranking based on divisions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Man, this is tough because these are two teams that I really want both. I want both these teams to be successful. So it's really hard for me to sit here and pick between the two. But, man, I think I have to go with the Giants. I think I'm higher on the Giants than probably the Texans. I've been a Daniel Jones guy. Daniel Jones, I kind of fit in, like, the Mitch Trubisky category. Just, like, guys that I feel like can really do it. It's just they can't, or they haven't yet. And I feel like with the right management now, with Brian Daboll, we know he's a proven guy. Proven offensive mastermind. Given any given Sunday, he could have a brain fart or two. But anyway, staying on track, I think Daniel Jones does have the athleticism to carry out an offense that Brian Daboll is going to want to instill. If Saquon Barkley's still on that team, he's going to be a big help to Daniel Jones as he's been in the past. And I think they have one of the better skill position groups in the entire NFL. I mean, Kadarius Toney, if he's able to stay healthy, that dude's going to be really good in this league. So I'm going to go with the Giants over the Texans, but I would not be shocked, if the Texans are the slightly better team next year.
All right. Yeah, I think the Giants are better. Yeah, I trust Daboll and Sean a little bit. They look very Daboll McDermott-esque right now in their beginning stages. So, I trust them a little bit. So I will have to also go with the Giants. So, yeah. All right, I effed up the numbers. So
here you go. Hot take for you, Justus. Who has a better season, Jones or Trubisky?
That's actually a really good question. I Well, I have a theory that Brian Daboll is really not that good of a play caller. Well, no. He's not consistent, and he forgets how to call plays at the worst times. But the Giants aren't going to have any crucial times to call plays because they're going to suck either way. So, that's interesting. There's no pressure on him. Oh, wow. Actually, I think that might bode well for him. Mike Tomlin's not really a quarterback offensive guy really like that. So I think he's just going to have Trubisky. But I think Trubisky could be really good with a run game, play action, good defense.
Yeah. That's always been my thing is I think Trubisky just needed a good coaching staff around him, dude. Like
I'm actually going to go Trubisky, actually.
The only thing that I don't like about Trubisky is that they drafted Kenny Pickett in the first round. That's the only thing I don't like about that situation is just because they've got Trubisky on a 2-year deal. I know some people might say, "Oh, that doesn't matter," but I think, yeah, there you go. Scott just said it. Agreed, Trubisky. But will the Steelers play their drafted quarterback? I don't know. I mean, we've seen the kind of what happens is there's a guy who's there, something eventually happens, and either he's not playing well or he gets hurt. The drafted guy comes in. Then most of the time, some franchises, especially when you spend a first round pick on a guy, you're not, necessarily eager to just pull him out again once he's starting games. So I don't know. That's the only thing that trips me up about Trubisky. But I think, again, I've told you, I think Trubisky has the damn air horn going off.
A tornado warning?
A tornado near you, Justus? You need to get to the bathroom, dog. But no, man, I think that Trubisky, I've always said he can be a franchise quarterback if he's in the right system. And I know that they drafted Kenny Pickett, but I think if Trubisky goes out there and has a hell of a year this year, they might just be going like, okay, well, this guy's still young. I think that he's a much better prospect as of right now than Kenny Pickett is. But, that's just me.
All right, so we got a clean sweep for the Giants. That leaves us with the AFC South, 7 points, NFC East, 5 points. All right, so as of right now, AFC has 7, NFC has 5. And that's a pretty close, you know what I'm saying, number. So it's not like we don't think that is going to be one of the blowout divisions, right? Next up, actually feels like a pretty good battle. Caveman, AFC West, rank them.
Well,
there you go. All right.
I mean, I really got to think the Chargers win this division. They got way too good for my liking. I mean, that has got to be one of the most talented teams that we've seen in a minute. Them and the Browns, once Deshaun Watson comes around. Those two teams, I think, are very talented on both sides of the ball. The Chargers, I mean, you already had a very good offense with a lunatic head coach. If he just gets his head on straight, I think they're going to be that much better. Not to mention, their defense was the part of that team that I think let them down when they needed the most, of course. You had Khalil Mack, you had J.C. Jackson. I mean, Jesus, they should be the division winners without question. And Justin Herbert, in what I think is going to be his third season. I mean, that's supposed to be the year that the quarterbacks take the leap. So I think it's going to be the Chargers. I have the Raiders second. I really like the Raiders this year. I'm going to say Chiefs third, Broncos fourth.
Okay.
It'd be hilarious if Justin Herbert was garbage this year. Wouldn't it be hilarious though? It would just be funny.
I guess it would be kind of funny, like because everybody's kind of propping him up.
He's top 5.
Yeah, I'm like, all right,
slow down, son.
My big thing with Justin Herbert is, I think we talked about this, Justus, maybe, is kind of the decision making with Herbert. He makes some terrible decisions.
He makes amazing decisions in clutch time, right?
Yeah.
4th and 10, he's amazing.
Sure.
But the problem is he threw 3 incompletions on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd and 10. It's like, okay, I get it, but like there's room for improvement, clearly.
Definitely.
Like, so Jake, you got the NFC West.
The NFC West. Okay, well, I think second year Matt Stafford in this system isn't going to look like, the Matt Stafford we saw last year, where it's like throwing these random picks and you're like, what's going on? Is this guy, is he watching Carson Wentz tape? Is he trying to model his game after? And what's going on here? I like Matt Stafford. I still think the Rams, that's their division. I think it's probably Rams, Cardinals, 49ers, and then the Seahawks. I think that's kind of just the way it's got to go, because the Seahawks, obviously, once you lose Russ Wilson, that team's on they're rebuilding. Like it's right there. And I think that the 49ers right now, they're still trying to figure out, what are they going to do? Are we just going to throw it all on Debo? Debo doesn't seem happy. How's that dynamic going to play out this year? We'll see. I think the Cardinals are ready to prove that they're not some like
John Lynch better sell his soul. He better keep
Yeah.
Debo. He gonna regret. He gonna regret letting go.
Yeah.
I don't know what you gotta do. You better give him stake in the company or something. You better keep Debo.
Make him part owner. I don't know.
You better keep Debo.
But then you've got the Cardinals, who I think Kyler Murray, they choked last year, man. They remind me of the Steelers a couple years ago. They were hot, started off real well, then they took a nose fall. And look, I think that next year they're going to come back. They're going to be hungry again.
What the hell is happening?
Dude, all the tornadoes out there, man. You're in Twister 2. Is that even a movie? I don't know.
All right,
but
hot take question, Jake. Will Steelers play their drafted QB this year?
So I brought that up. I talked about that. I think that Trubisky is going to have a good year. I don't think Kenny Pickett plays.
Okay.
I think that kind of Kenny Pickett was picked as insurance to see if their investment in Mitch Trubisky doesn't pay off. So that way, if Mitch Trubisky doesn't pay off, they have a first-round quarterback that they drafted who they can then try to develop. So I don't think that Pickett plays this year unless Trubisky gets hurt or something. But I don't think that it's going to come down to a decision from the coaching staff. If Kenny Pickett plays, it's going to be an injury.
Yeah, I think Mitch is going to be able to keep his job. I think he's good enough. I really do. All right, let's get to these game winners.
Sure.
Wow, these are some good ass games.
I know.
Chargers Rams. It's a damn good game. Caveman, who's going to win it?
I gotta say, I'm gonna say the Rams, just because I guess given the circumstance, depending on when this game hypothetically would take place, what week, etc. I think if the Chargers caught them later down the line, then the Chargers would win. If we're talking about midseason or earlier in the year, then I think I'd go with the Rams, just because I think they're going to be they're more experienced, the older team. I do trust Sean McVay more than I trust Brandon Staley to make the right decision on like a fourth down, hypothetically. But I am going to go with the Rams, just because I do think they're the more experienced team. And I think the type of game they play is going to be the only type of game that can beat the Chargers. No team is going to go head-to-head and beat the Chargers through the air. It's going to have to be a team that can run the ball on the ground and keep Justin Herbert off the field. So I'm going to go with the Rams.
Definitely got to keep Justin Herbert off the field. All right, 2 away teams, Chargers, Rams. Who you got, Jake?
I'm going to go Rams just because, one, they're the Super Bowl champ. I understand that Justin Herbert and those boys, they're going to go off through the air. Those guys, they're going to be able to score a lot of points. I've seen games where the Rams can score a lot of points too. I know they don't have OBJ anymore. Robert Woods is gone. They're going on Van Jefferson, Cooper Kupp. I don't know if they drafted
Allen Robinson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then they pick up Allen Robinson. Again, they're going to have some growing pains too at the beginning of the season, getting some of those guys integrated. But I think the same thing's going to happen on the defensive side with Brandon Staley, trying to get guys like J.C. Jackson in there. And, we've seen what J.C. Jackson is against real top-level opponents. I'd like to see what J.C. Jackson man-to-man against Allen Robinson looks like. I would love to see that matchup. I'm going to say, the Rams. And you've got Brandon Staley, who was a coordinator for the Rams and is now going to be going up against his head coach. So I'm going to take the Rams, the more experienced team in this, with the more experienced coach, because They've been doing it longer, but I would not be surprised if the Chargers were able to take this one, especially depending when it gets played in the year, like Mike said.
Well, would you look at that? Just like that, the NFC takes the lead in the league-wide games because I am also going with the Chargers. Look,
I mean the Rams.
You know what? I recognize I be jaded. Okay, all right. Look, I don't like it when people talk shit about talk ish. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, fan base. Okay, my apologies.
How could you?
I don't like it when people talk ish about Josh Boyd. Right? That's my boy. Right? So when people were like, "Oh, Baker's better than Josh." Oh, I prayed on Baker's downfall. Y'all saw it. Y'all saw it live. You guys are my two co-hosts. You guys witnessed this with me, right? Same for Darnold. And then once we realized he was crappy, I was like, "Oh, okay, I kind of like Darnold."
Yeah.
And then he stayed crappy, and I was like, "Well, I don't know what to do with you now." Like, and I get a little bit of that with Justin Herbert. So I'm a little harder on him, but I don't think that he should just be given a crown like after 2 seasons. Like he ain't made the playoffs yet. Like there's no way they would have gave anybody else this type of crown. I don't know what it is about him that makes people feel like he just is there already. You know what I mean? So he got
than Tua.
He got to prove it to me, right? He's like, is he better than Tua? Yeah, like he got to prove it to me. So they gonna have to show me before I say they beat the defending champions, right? And then if you look at the defending champions, I mean, they lost Von Miller. Don't get me wrong, that's freaking huge, but they still have the single most dominant player in our generation, most certainly, maybe NFL history,
and Leonard Floyd. So
and exactly right. The defense is not like bad without, you know what I mean? So. And then even if you don't have OBJ, they still got Allen Robinson over there. Right, Allen Robinson is that boy. Okay, so I'm gonna go with the Rams there. And then next up we got the Raiders and Cardinals. Another pretty damn good game. All right, Raiders Cardinals. Jake.
Oh, this is hard. This is also depending on when it's played during the year. Christian Kirk gone from the Cardinals.
That boy got pinned.
Yeah, he's gone. D-Hop suspended for using beaver tranquilizer or whatever he was putting in himself. How long is he suspended, by the way?
Is it like 4 or 6 games?
6 games. So if D-Hop's not on the field, this is Raiders all day. Plus that pass rush is about to be absolutely nasty for the Raiders this year, man. I would have to say this is a tough one, but I'm more of a believer in defense. And the last time I saw the Cardinals, they look like bums, and their offense got worse. So I'm going to probably go with the Raiders on this because they upgraded, especially offensively too, and on the defensive line. Like they are definitely going to be, getting after dudes. So I'm going to go with the Raiders on this one.
And it's fair to assume that you either get a team without D-Hop or a team that has only had D-Hop for like 1, 2, 3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. That's
non-beaver tranquilizer D-Hop.
Caveman, Cardinals versus Raiders. Who you got, bro?
I think the Raiders win this game 9 out of 10 times, whether DeAndre Hopkins is on the field or not. I mean,
he's smoking the Cardinals pack.
I hate Cliff Kingsbury with a burning passion. I think that guy is. I think he's a moron. DeAndre Hopkins, he had 1,400 yards his first year with the Cardinals, but I'm not buying what he's selling. He's supposed to be, this next, offensive genius, young head coach that's coming in, transforming the NFL. The dude doesn't know what he's doing. He hasn't used DeAndre Hopkins correctly, in my opinion. And I think that's partially why people are slightly starting to forget about DeAndre Hopkins in combination with his injury. And now he's being, suspended. So, I mean, yes, exactly. A lot of people, if you ask him, DeAndre Hopkins probably is in their top 5. And I would blame Cliff Kingsbury for that because I think he's just not using him properly. And on top of that, they did bring in Marquise Brown in the draft to be kind of like the Christian Kirk replacement. But I just don't buy what they're selling. And the Raiders, I think this is the year that Derek Carr finally gets his supporting cast, and he shows the damn world that he's a capable he's a top 10 quarterback in my mind. I think this is the year that he goes and shows the world. With Devontae Adams, former college receiver, Max Crosby's got Chandler Jones across from him. I mean, Nate Hobbs is one of the better cornerbacks in the one of the better young cornerbacks in the NFL in the secondary. I mean, it's going to be a good team, and I'm excited to see them work. So I think the Cardinals are fraudulent. I'm taking the Raiders.
Y'all are
frauds.
My God, you know what's funny? You remember when Sean McVay first got signed and like he had instant success, and anybody who was in spitting distance of him got a job somewhere, right? And then it was like that was the Rams, right? And then the Seahawks had like Pete Carroll, who was this all-time legend coach in college, came here and became an all-time legend coach here, quite frankly. And, you know, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but he has been in the NFL for a really long time. He's had a lot of success. So he's probably a Hall of Famer in both of his, you know, encounters and coaching in the college and the NFL. But then it was like the 49ers got
Charlie.
Their genius.
Honestly, I agree. Like, I agree with him.
I mean, Pete Carroll's first stint in the NFL was terrible.
No, but what he has done with the Seahawks is gonna get him a Hall of Fame bid. It's going to. He coached the, you know what I'm saying, the Legion of Boom and Russell Westbrook and Beast Mode.
When you're the coach attached to those
Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook.
All right, so it's funny because, you know, they have Pete Carroll, and then the 49ers go and get Kyle Shanahan, another genius. And then they're like, oh my God, we gotta keep up. We gotta go get a genius. And they get Cliff Kingsbury, who is like a poor man's genius. You know what I mean? It's like it has all the flash and the bang, but then you got like 21 points. You know what I mean? Like it's so I have to agree with you guys. I'm gonna go Raiders here as well. I don't remember if I marked down my pick or not. All right, I'm gonna have to do some counting. All right, let's move to the Chiefs and 49ers. Damn, that's another good motherfucking game. Holy crap. All right, Caveman, who you got, bro?
Oh, this is very dependent on who starts for the 49ers. I know there's been chatter that Trey Lance, I guess, hasn't looked great or impressive for the 49ers over the offseason up to this point. Whether that's true or not, I guess that's up for us to decide.
I'm sorry. Charlie is hilarious, yo. Charlie is hilarious.
What were we talking about? 49ers and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I think it's all dependent on, like I said, who's starting for the Chiefs or for the 49ers. I think if Jimmy Garoppolo is starting for the 49ers, they have a better chance only because I think, you know, you bring in a kid like Trey Lance. Not only is he going to want to do more than Jimmy Garoppolo is doing, but they're going to want him to do more. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo does the absolute bare minimum. And if Trey Lance goes out there and tries to take it a step further, you know, he could screw up. He could potentially, you know, make for more turnovers, make for more mistakes. And that's how you lose the game against the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's how you lose a game in general is, you know, you turn the ball over. And Jimmy Garoppolo, he didn't do that nearly as often because he barely had to do anything. So I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs probably both ways. But I think the 49ers would have a better chance if Jimmy Garoppolo was starting and they didn't try to have their quarterback do more than he should.
Jake.
Yeah, it's still the Chiefs. Like, I still think the Chiefs with Juju and MVS and Sky Moore, who they drafted, I still think with that, they're still going to put up points. I don't really know if they're going to take a slight step back, I think, depending on what Patrick Mahomes is able to get out of those receivers. But I still expect for them to be putting up a significant amount of points that I think it's going to be hard for the type of game that the 49ers play to be able to keep up with them. So I think that I would still get, I'm sorry, I just heard a yell outside my door that scared the absolute I can't say the word on here. Yeah, the absolute dog water out of me, sure. So yeah, I would go with the Chiefs full on this one. I think that the 49ers, you know, yeah, I just don't think they have it. I think that Jimmy G just doesn't put enough on the field to make me think he's going to beat Patrick Mahomes. So
I'm gonna go with the 49ers.
Okay.
And it's not because I'm hating on the Chiefs. It's not because I want the, AFC to not demolish the NFC this year. None of those things, although they are true. I just really think that Tyreek Hill being gone is going to be a big deal. It's really going to it's going to change the way we look at the Chiefs offense. I think not having your queen on the board, for those of you who are familiar with chess, the game's different. It changes. You if you take somebody's queen and you get to trade a non-queen piece, your shoulders get a little lighter. You just feel a little bit better. And I think losing their queen, and I just don't think they'll be able to replace that value. And I think their defense is horrible. And I look at the 49ers defense. Defense is usually, if not always, really good. And I think Kyle Shanahan is a genius offensively. Jake mentioned how Jimmy G basically got them to the Super Bowl and to an NFC Championship game by doing nothing. Yeah. Essentially, Trey Lance is more talented than Jimmy G. So if he can wrap his head around doing nothing and still having his mobility and, at least being able to put the ball where you can as an NFL quarterback, like if he can do that to half his potential, then they are going to be a successful team. Right. And I don't know, the Chiefs going to have to show me. And I know that's weird to say because I'm a Bills fan and they just beat us like 2 years in a row. But I get it. Yeah. But I don't know, man. That Tyreek Hill departure feels very significant to me. So I'm going to go with the 49ers here.
So I know we've talked about this multiple times ever since the Tyreek Hill trade, but you think the step back is so significant with Tyreek Hill leaving and even bringing in guys like Juju and MVS and drafting a guy in Sky Moore who's got that kind of speed that could change the game? You think
not that kind of speed?
He's still fast.
He's fast as hell. He's not Tyreek Hill fast. There's a lot of guys in the league that are fast as hell. Tyreek Hill is a different. He's a different. He's a different.
Well,
that's just the fact of the matter.
He's the cream of the crop, right?
Yeah.
But there's still the corn underneath it that can still
absolutely.
get it done.
Jalen Waddle is a dog. That boy is quick.
Yeah, he's fast too. He's not Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill, exactly. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
But do you think that step back, even with all those receivers who can produce, they're not terrible, and you got a guy in Patrick Mahomes that can put up those kind of numbers with those guys and take advantage of those guys? He made Byron Pringle look good. Byron Pringle's not Tyreek Hill, but Byron Pringle still put up numbers.
Jake, so I don't know. Jake, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
If I told you Juju Smith-Schuster was going to be the number 2 receiver opposite Stephon Diggs, would you be happy?
Yeah.
You'd be happy with Juju Smith-Schuster.
Juju's a perfect number 2.
You'd rather have him than Gabriel Davis?
At this point, no. Gabe Davis is younger.
Would you rather have him than Jamison Crowder?
Jamison Crowder's a 3 and a slot guy,
but I'm just asking, like on the team, if you could have one or the other, who would you rather
have? Well, because I have Gabe Davis, I have no need for Juju. So
that kind of answers my question, though. So, but no, what I'm also saying is Valdes-Scantling. Are you happy if he's on your wide receiver roster? Period. Like, all right, so I just maybe I'm exaggerating a bit. I just don't think they're in the same stratosphere as Tyreek Hill.
I'm not saying that they are, but I'm saying that I don't think the production is going to be so significantly back that they're not going to be able to hang.
And it's not even it's not even based on the production, because if you take their totals, it might be similar or they might add up to whatever. That's not what I mean. Tyreek Hill is a different dog because it's not just his production. It's like having Steph Curry on the basketball court, but he not even taking a shot. Mm-hmm. There's a guy plastered to Steph Curry all the time. You can never double team off Steph Curry. You have to pay attention to Steph Curry. You have to know where number 10 is on the field
at all times. You have to know what route he is running on every single play, because if you don't, he will run by you. And if you even lose him for a second, he's going to catch up to you and then run by. It's a different kind of speed. They had people playing 40 yards back to stop this man. It's a different type of animal. Tyreek Hill is just different.
Sure, it's a different kind of animal, but when Steph Curry is out, Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson are still able to put up points in that offense. I'm
not saying they're not, but they're not winning no championships.
I didn't say they're winning championships, but I don't think it's so far of a step back that they're not going to be able to take on.
See, but that's what I'm saying, because if Steph Curry is on the field, that team is now capable of winning a championship.
Sure.
Without Steph Curry on the field, they're good. They're not all-time great anymore, though.
But I'm not arguing with you right now saying that they're a Super Bowl contender. I'm saying they can beat the 49ers.
I don't know, because I think 49ers are a Super Bowl contender. See, maybe that's what
maybe in the week NFC, that's why,
my opinion of the 49ers is actually quite high.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where that's why I said they better keep Debo, because like you have a Super Bowl contender now. If you let go of Debo, it's over. It's over. It's curtains. Like, it's over. All right, but let's get to the next game.
Sure.
Broncos Seahawks. I believe it is Jake.
Yeah. I think Mike did. We've been talking for so long and going back and forth.
Right.
I don't know what's going on anymore. Broncos Seahawks. Is that what you said?
The Broncos Seahawks.
Bro, the Seahawks,
that is the 4th place game, by the way.
Bro, the Seahawks are getting bent over by Russell Wilson. Like, it is not even funny. Like, the Broncos are on such a different level than the Seahawks right now, dude.
All right, okay, man. Can I just assume that me and you are also gonna take the Broncos here?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
I just want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even feel like that's even worth talking about. That's disgusting. That's gonna be a bloodbath. Holy hell. I feel bad for Seattle.
I want to watch that game, though.
All week in Seattle.
That better be a primetime game.
Oh, it's week 1. That's right. It's week 1. It's Russell Wilson's return to Seattle. That's right.
Oh, God.
Oh, Lord. That's going to be
terrible.
Poor
Drew Lock, dude.
Oh, my God. Okay. All right. AFC North versus NFC South. Caveman, rank the AFC North. Damn, you always get the hard ones.
You're getting the hard ones, bro.
No, AFC North. I'm going to say Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Steelers. I think that's what I go with here. Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Steelers. I think the Ravens are head and shoulders. This, might come off as disrespectful, but head and shoulders above, the rest of the division, in my opinion. When you look at the Browns without Deshaun Watson, which we're all under the assumption they will be for the first at least half of the year, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean that's just an automatic step forward for the Ravens. They were hanging with. I feel like I've had this conversation a number of times this offseason. They were hanging with some of the best teams with third stringers, on half their field, right? I mean, they had third stringers at quarterback, second stringers at quarterback a lot. Their secondary was filled with third stringers. They had a bunch of veteran running backs come in and play 2 games for them and then walk away. It's like Le'Veon Bell. They had Latavius Murray. It's like they were so makeshift, yet they were still competing week in and week out. And that's because, they're so fundamentally sound as a coaching staff. They're very good at putting players in positions to be successful. And I really look at them the same way I kind of look at the Steelers and Mike Tomlin's coaching staff, except I think the Ravens just have that much more talent on both sides of the ball. Whereas I think they're really going to be the best team in this division. They're going to be the reason why I think the Bengals ultimately miss. I think the Browns this year, once Deshaun Watson does return, they're going to end up squeaking into the postseason. But then I do think the Ravens are going to be the team that takes first place, and then we're the Bengals, right? I mean, they're not going to make it over any, all of the AFC West teams. I think all of the AFC West teams have a very solid shot. So it's like, who's left for the Bengals? What's left for the Bengals, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say the Browns take it, or the Ravens take it. Browns second, Bengals third.
All right, so I would usually go to Caveman. I'm sorry, I would usually go to Jake here, but I have to give my opinion on this real quick, right? I'm not mad at Caveman's list, but I'm looking at this list and I could see it a different way, right? And I just feel like I have to say this, right? I could see Ravens, Steelers, Bengals or Brown alternative because the Browns are hard to judge because we don't know who's going to be playing quarterback, right?
They could be 0-8 to start the season. Like
ladies and gentlemen, the Bengals Super Bowl run was a fluke. Okay, that's not happening. That's not happening. They are frauds. Okay, wow. I will put my money where they are not winning more than 8 games this year, y'all.
You want to put dog water on that?
I'm not as brave as you.
Yeah, okay.
I'll put dog water if they don't win more than 10 games. The Bengals not like that, guys. Is they really not? I'm sorry. That defense is actually pretty good, but the offense is Jamar Chase. I'm sorry, it's Jamar Chase. That's the offense. So I'm not mad at his list because I feel like that could easily be how it plays out, but I am tired of getting burned every single year by Mike Tomlin. I always feel like the Steelers are going to be garbage, and then he takes this garbage team and they end up winning like 9 or 10 games every year. I don't know how he does it, but he does it.
Never had a losing record.
Yeah, their defense is always like that. So I have no reason to believe their defense won't be like that this year. So that's what I would do. But all right. So Caveman got our rankings at Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Steelers. All right. So Jake, NFC South.
NFC South. I'm probably gonna go Bucks -- because Tom Brady's on that team. But I don't think that they have that secured. I think the Saints are going to be a good team this year, and they just signed Jarvis Landry. So we'll see. And, a lot of people like to forget, but the Saints before Jameis Winston went down were actually looking like they were going to be a pretty good team. So they don't have, of course, they don't have Sean Payton anymore coaching. So we'll see what happens this year. But I think it's easily going to be, and I think this might have been the actual order last year too, but it's going to be Bucks, Saints, Panthers, Falcons. That's what it's going to be.
Okay, real quick, Caveman, you got to give us a dog water bet.
A dog? Why do I got to give a dog water bet?
Because we made the commitment, but this is me and your show, so me and you, so you got to give one of it.
All right, my dog water bet. Oh boy. I could pull something really dark out of the closet for this. Let's say.
What have I done?
I'm trying to really pick a good one. Oh, freak. All right. Derek Carr finishes with. Oh, this is tough. This is really tough. I'm trying to determine what would be like a hot take. Like, what's a hot take? Derek Carr finishes with 5,000 passing.
So a dog water bet would be like, all right. So Jake said that
I think that. Yeah, I don't think
get more than 4 wins.
The Seahawks.
He doesn't think the Seahawks will get more than 4 wins. I don't think the Bengals will get more than 10 wins. So which team do you think is going to play?
I feel like that should be 9 wins, Justus.
All right. We'll say.
All right. For the spirit of the bet, I'll go 9. I'll go 9.
All right. Oh, I have a good one. The Vikings will not win more than 8 games.
Here's the Kirk Cousins slander. I knew it was coming.
Yo, Jake really caught that in pre-production. He was like, Caveman gonna find a way to talk. He's like, put up the Kirk Cousins ratings.
I said the tier list is getting broken out tonight.
When I saw when you tagged me in that Kirk Cousins thing, I was dying. In my chair. Hey, honestly, that's perfect. I was gonna try and find a way to fit him in here, but I was like, how can I make it dog water? Kirk Cousins? I couldn't think fast enough. This is perfect.
If
Vikings
nobody
no more than 8 wins.
Knows, right? I was on Caveman's show and he brought out the Kirk Cousins tier rankings. And then I saw a post that like NFL and CBS put, and it was like Kirk Cousins is a top what quarterback in the league. And I just put at Listman looking at this thing, and it was like the Grinch on his like mountain looking down at it.
That's hilarious. Yo, like Caveman feels about Kirk Cousins how I feel about like Tua and Baker.
Yeah.
Like,
No, for real.
Yeah.
Like I cannot stand that dude. And I hope to God he gets exposed this year. Every God-forsaken year, it's the same thing with the Vikings, man.
No, he's getting another $40 million
They keep getting
extension.
paid.
Yes, and
They
he's
keep
getting
getting
paid.
paid.
It's the same thing, man. Oh, wow, we
It's
signed
crazy.
this guy. We signed that guy. The defense is going to be healthy. We got the best cast in football. Blah. I don't care. I don't care. Kirk Cousins is a mediocre quarterback. You can put Mac Jones where Kirk Cousins is right now, and you get the same kind of production out of that offense. I will stand by that statement.
Yo, that's crazy because I actually don't disagree with that. I truly do not disagree. Like, I could totally see it.
Who has better stats this year, Mac Jones or Kirk Cousins?
Just because
Mac
Jones is,
I know.
Yeah. His best receiver is Devontae Parker. Kirk Cousins has had the luxury of Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, and then Dalvin Cook in his backfield for the last 5
with
years.
the offensive line, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I mean, really though, like if Mac Jones is put in that spot, you put any kind of game managing quarterback in that position, it's hard for them to screw it up. It is.
Yeah.
And Kirk Cousins, to his credit, doesn't often screw it up necessarily, but he doesn't go above and beyond like you'd like somebody like Kirk Cousins to go.
Who's getting
That
paid
puts
that much.
up.
Dude,
Yeah, I mean,
he's painfully average.
yes.
That's what it is. Painfully average. And now they have a new coaching staff this year. So we'll see. You hope he gets exposed.
Right, real quick.
I know he is.
Jake, you said Bucks, Saints,
Panthers, Falcons.
Panthers, Falcons.
Because
right.
the Panthers need to go get, like, they have to get Baker Mayfield. There's just somebody who's going to help out their team more than Sam Darnold or bringing back the corpse that is left of Cam Newton. Like, I don't know, man. It's they got to do something.
All right, so real quick to recap our dog water bets. We just came up with this one. Hey, yo, and y'all in the comments, like comment like questions and stuff, because I swear, like the one time me and Jake had a show, and then like we were like damn near at the end of the show, and everybody just popped in the comments.
Everybody started flooding in the questions.
Like, well, where was this during the show? Like, so like if y'all got questions or whatever, ask this stuff. Like, seriously. All right,
you guys throw out your dog water bets.
Throw out your dog water bets. Hashtag dog water bet.
That needs to be a segment. Dog water bets.
Dog water bets.
See, look at that. We just made that up on the spot. Content creators. Dog water bets. Jake says the Seahawks will not have more than 4 wins. That is the most brave dog water bet of the night. But it launched a movement. Justus dog water bet. The Bengals will not have more than 7 wins. And the Caveman dog water bet, the Vikings will not have more than 8 wins. My man Scott Blakely is providing the dog water, and we are going to
Justus actually
pray to whatever gods are out there. I said 9 wins.
No, I thought you just said 10 again.
I thought I said 9. Well, whatever. Anyway,
9 wins.
It's 9 wins. All right. So Ravens, Bucks, Caveman, who wins? That's a good game.
I'm going to say the Ravens. I have this odd suspicion that the Bucs are going to like not suck, but they're just not going to be, they're just taking steps backwards. They go from the Super Bowl 2 years ago. This past year, I would say they took a couple steps back. They were not that ferocious defense that we saw 2 years ago that was chasing quarterbacks every week.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady, although he had one of the greatest seasons he's ever had, I still felt like that team wasn't as good as they were 2 years ago. And I feel like they're just going to take another step back. And with that in mind, I also think the Saints, I think Jake, you were the one that said it. The Saints are weirdly good in situations they shouldn't be. I mean, they had a combination of Trevor Siemian, Jameis Winston, and like Ian Book playing quarterback for them last year, and they still finished 9-8. I mean, that's hard to do. So next year, I would not doubt that they came out and they took the NFC South with like 10 or so wins, maybe 11 wins. The Bucs finished with 10. But with that in mind, I do think the Bucs take another step back this season, and the Ravens do win. I'm high on the Ravens, so I'm going to take the Ravens here.
Honestly, when Jake said the Saints second, I was like, this is bull. But now that you said that, I'm thinking like that actually does make a lot of sense. Because you're right. They did have garbage behind center last year, and they still made it pretty good.
Yep, literally. And they had their best receiver was Marquez Callaway. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't even think of who else they had. It was like Marquez Callaway, Deontay Harris, and
so
Adam
now
Troutman, who broke his ankle like in week 6.
so now they're gonna have Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, hopefully back, and then they're gonna have Jarvis Landry
And Chris Olave.
Yeah, and Chris Olave.
Oh my God! And Chris Olave. Oh, Jesus Lord.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was wrong. Okay, all right, Jake. Ravens, Bucks.
I think the Ravens coming back healthy this year. I don't know. Again, the Bucks don't have that kind of defense anymore. It has gotten slower the last couple of years. They had some offensive linemen retire. Gronk is not back yet. I assume Gronk's probably just going to sign when he doesn't have to do OTAs and mandatory training anymore. And then Gronk's like, oh, I'll come back if Julian Edelman comes back. I think with them still having Godwin and Mike Evans, I think they'd be able to hang in there. I think Tom Brady's still going to be able to work the field. And, when it comes down to those Tom Brady-Lamar Jackson matchups, I'm going to take Tom Brady every time. It's really hard to bet against Tom Brady. So I would say the Bucks in this one.
Oh, I thought he was going to go Ravens. Okay. All right. I respect it.
I respect both teams.
Yeah. That's a good matchup, and I really could see it going either way. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm thinking the Ravens might be on it this year. I really do. And although I don't know if I agree about the Bucks necessarily, like maybe I do. But I guess what I'm hoping for is that the Bucks make the Super Bowl because I want to take Tom Brady's lunch money before he leaves the league.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I'm rooting for, but I could absolutely see the Bucks just not being that good this year. I'm gonna go Ravens here. I really do. I think Lamar Jackson is gonna be pissed off, and he's gonna make everybody who doubted him look absolutely moronic. So I'm gonna go Ravens there. Browns Saints. Who went first last time? I forgot. Caveman, go ahead.
I think I did. Browns Saints. Oh man, we gotta stop with this Browns BS, man. I don't know how to project this team
at all. Right?
I know it's like I have no idea. I'm gonna say we're gonna say at their best with Deshaun. I'm gonna go with the Browns just because Deshaun Watson. I've been judging Deshaun Watson based on what we saw in 2019 because I feel like we're talking about fairness with Deshaun Watson. It's only fair. That's how we rank him because that's the last time we've seen him play football. So just assuming he's suddenly a shell of his former self, I think is not proper. So with that in mind,
like physically,
he's still so young.
Yeah,
you can't just assume this guy's fallen off a cliff and forgotten how to play football. So I'm going to go with the better quarterback here. And that's pretty much what's going to separate the two here. And I'm going to go with the Browns.
All right, we got an AFC vote for Caveman. Jake.
Yeah, I'm going to go Browns as well. If it's Jameis Winston against Deshaun Watson, I mean, don't get me wrong. LASIK Jameis might have been on it a little bit better last year before he got hurt, but I don't know if he's better than Deshaun Watson. I really don't. So if I was just going to pick, again, my philosophy, who's under center, I think Deshaun Watson's the much better quarterback. And if Deshaun Watson's not there, the Saints really got a good shot. But if he is there, I think that, that defense and that offense combination of the Browns is going to be nasty. So,
Yo, y'all just made me big up the Saints for y'all to just crap all over them. Like, man. Okay. All right. Okay. You know what? Honestly, when I look at this, right, I don't know what the Saints are going to look like. I do think they're probably going to be good, if not decent. But for the Browns, I really think they might have a locker room problem this year. I do. Maybe. I think they'll have a culture problem. I think it's going to be like the adverse reaction to when Sean McDermott came in, right? Because when Sean McDermott came in, we lost a lot of good players, but then we gained a lot of good juju, right? I think they're going to gain some good players, but I think they're going to also get a lot of bad juju.
Like karma.
Yeah. I'm going to go Saints here. Yeah, Yeah, I'm one of those Saints here.
Yeah, I don't
All
think
right.
that's a bad pick at all, Justus. Again, I think if there are locker room issues, which with the matter of what's going on, you got to assume that some of these guys, they got sisters, they got obviously their wives. What do they think about it? Like, he's taking them all to a trip to the Bahamas right now when he's just getting done being interviewed by the NFL for 22 allegations of women accusing him of things. Like, it's just kind of like, how many guys are really going to stand for that? How many of them are just going to be like, oh yeah, I believe you if you just tell me no? Like, no, you didn't do that. So they might have problems. So
Yeah, absolutely. All right, hot take question. Caveman, do you think Cup and Allen Robinson is going to be too much for the Bills to handle, especially since Trey White might not be fully healthy and a rookie Kyer Elam is getting his very first start?
I think when I did my schedule prediction, I think we lose this game. I do think, the Super Bowl champs, they're going to be. I found a stat. I went back to 2000, and the team that won the Super Bowl the year prior is 19-3 in their first game the following year. So you got that trend following for them. Like Corey said, we're not going to have Trey White. Kyer Elam's going to be in his first game. Von Miller's probably going to be not shaking rust off, but he's still going to be getting acclimated to playing in Buffalo with the new team. There's just a lot of things that I think are playing against the Bills here. Not to mention that if we start like anywhere near like we started last year, where we were all thinking like, dear God, what is happening here? Then we'll certainly lose this game. I'm not saying that's bound to happen, but we might not come off hot starting the season. So I just don't like the vibe that I'm getting from this game. It's getting a lot of hype. I would almost be surprised if it was a low-scoring bout like kind of the Steelers-Bills game was last year, and it was just so much energy, so much hype, and it just kind of fell flat on its face. And I'm not even saying that because we lost, but the game was just so boring. I mean, there just was no fireworks at all. And I think we lose this game, maybe not because Kupp and Allen Robinson are too much. I just think the Rams will be just a little bit more battle ready early on.
Yeah, when I look at this game, I am. So if you guys watch my content, I'm about net value, right? I'm like, okay, defense plus offense plus special teams, who do I think is going to come out on top, right? And I look at the Rams, and I can't quite do it as easily as I can with everybody else on the schedule, right? Your Packers, they don't have Devontae Adams anymore. Your Chiefs, they don't have Tyreek Hill anymore. Now our net value goes up in this plus theirs, right? The Rams are the only team where I can't find like a really big gap in net value. But there is one that I'm banking on, and it's the fact that Matt Stafford looked nasty in primetime last year. In like the biggest games, he didn't perform great, right? Super Bowl, he performed good-ish. But like before that, it wasn't pretty, right? And they squeaked by into getting to that position, into getting into the Super Bowl. Josh Allen was off his rocker the entire time. Like every game that was played post week 16 was just like absolutely nuts for Josh, right? So I'm hoping that Josh's like nutcracker Josh is kind of residual into this season, being in it's the stadium of the team that just won the Super Bowl. They're getting their rings that night, and it's essentially primetime game. It's damn near a playoff game, not quite, but you get what I'm saying, right? So that's really my only thing where I'm like, I feel comfortable because I feel like Josh Allen is just leagues above Matt Stafford at this point in prime time. So, but what game were we on? It was on Bengals Panthers.
Yeah,
Jake. Panthers. Jake.
Bengals Panthers. Yeah, I got it. The Panthers are so dysfunctional right now, dude. Like they don't know what they're doing. I'm gonna go with the Bengals on this one.
Okay, man, we got.
I gotta go Bengals. I mean, yeah, there's no explanation.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty easy one. Bengals there. Steelers Falcons. Okay, man.
Steelers. I mean, like, we're sitting here at the beginning of the show saying that the Falcons, well, at least I said that the Falcons were going to get the first overall pick. I can't come out here and say that they're going to go beat the Steelers now. I'd be a little hypocritical, and I'm going to stick with that. So the Falcons definitely, they'll drop this hypothetical matchup.
Jake.
Yeah, the Steelers are winning this one. I mean, I cannot bring myself to say, I have too much respect for myself to say that the Steelers would not be able to beat the Falcons. It's a Mike Tomlin team, man. That defense is going to be nasty. Marcus Mariota's literally just going to be running for his life. Yeah, it's Steelers all day.
I like Marcus Mariota. I think he's a really talented quarterback, and I think he could be good in the right situation. I want to pick the Falcons here, but I'm not going to. Steelers.
You just said you had the Steelers finishing second in the North.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I was thinking. Like I just said, the Steelers might finish second in the North. There's no way I could pick the Falcons here. All right,
Falcons in a landslide.
All right, AFC East versus AFC North. Caveman, AFC East, rank me.
Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, Jets.
I have to give him an easy one, Jake. He got all our hard ones.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say he was
Dolphins, Patriots, Jets.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And Jake, you got the NFC North.
NFC North. All right. Let's see. How good is Kirk Cousins going to be this year?
Whose opinion do you want?
Okay, so I think
Be careful.
Green Bay, because Aaron Rodgers is that guy, man. I think he's going to elevate grocery store baggers, cart attendants, whatever. They're going to be they're still going to be respectable. Man, it's going to be the Vikings again. Like they've got too good of a team. They're going to be the second team. And then the Lions. Yeah. Finally. The Lions are going to bite just enough kneecaps to crawl to third, and then Chicago is going to be terrible. So,
people do not
and it's
like
not
Chicago
because
this year.
It's not because of Justin Fields either. It's literally just because that team from top to bottom is like garbage. But they're still not as worse as the Seahawks.
All right. This division matchup is going to be a little more interesting. I feel like it's a little more balanced than a lot of the other ones were. Bills, Green Bay, Caveman.
Bills, Green Bay. I think Bills. I think the Packers, their defense is going to be what keeps them not afloat, but it's going to be the better side of the ball. And it's not often you're saying that when you have a guy like Aaron Rodgers on your roster, right? But their defense last year was very stout. They kept them in games, even when they didn't have Jair Alexander. I'm pretty sure Zadarius Smith missed a number of games. Like they didn't have a lot of their star players, and they still were very good. And I think this is going to be kind of a similar case for them this year. Like you mentioned, Jake, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to make everybody around him look good, no matter if Devontae Adams is out there or not. But at the end of the day, the Bills are, I would say, the more talented team. Especially on the offensive side of the ball. The defense, I think they're going to be comparably good, but Josh Allen and the high-powered offense of the Bills, I think, is going to take advantage of Aaron Rodgers on the stretch in a game like that.
I certainly hope so. Sure. Jake, who you got?
Yeah, I've got the Bills too. And wow, big surprise, Bills show. We're picking the Bills. But just to be 100% honest, I just think that the Bills are going to just have that kind of offense that, they have a comparable defense, but I don't think they have the offensive firepower, like K-Man said, to be able to really hang in there with us. But it could be one of those games where Aaron Rodgers shows that he's still that kind of guy, and they elevate some of these dudes, and they're able to hang in there with us somewhat. But I think the Bills, like, their defense, like the Packers' defense is good, but I don't think it's – what's up, Robbie?
My guy, Robbie.
I think the Bills' offense is still it's going to be much harder for the Packers defense to handle than the Packers offense will be for the Bills defense to handle.
Yes.
All right, and I'm picking the Bills. And for my time to speak, I'm going to turn this into a hot take question instead. Have I been saying hot take question the entire time?
Yeah, you have.
Because that doesn't make sense. I'm gonna have to change that.
Hot take question.
What should the Bills' strategy be to stop
Brain
the three running back duo of Mostert, Gaskin, and Edmonds, and wide receiver duo of Hill and Waddle? Extremely fast quintupsum or fivesum, whatever the hell it's called. Jake, what do the Bills need to stop that 4-3 all over the place?
I don't know if you're really stopping. Again, I think that's a nasty combination of players that they're gonna have. Definitely super fast. Definitely faster than some of the guys that we've got on our defense. But is their quarterback going to take advantage of Hill and Waddle? I don't know. In the short game, I think we can handle them there. You know, the running backs, dude, are running. I mean, unless they're throwing it in the backfield and doing screens and all that kind of stuff, which I'm sure they probably will because they kind of run that kind of. They're going to be running that San Francisco type of offense. I still think the Bills are going to be able to game plan for that. And if they're going to try to run it right up the middle on us, dude, we got Daquan Jones now. Like we said, F it. Like we're not going to let anybody run on us again, like they started to do on the end of the season. So depending on what they want to do, I'm telling you right now, if Tua can't take advantage of those receivers and they're like, well, we don't have a quarterback that can do it, so we're just going to have to run the ball like most teams do that don't have a really athletic, strong-arm quarterback, then if they're going to just try to run it on us and become one-dimensional, dude, it's over. The Bills have game plan for that because all three other teams in the AFC East are basically going to be trying to do that on us. So we basically built our team that said, you're not running right up the middle on us. You're going to have to get creative. So, yeah, I don't know. There's not a clear-cut strategy to really go against that because it all comes down to, is their strategy on offense working with Tua?
It's the same. I mean, well, yeah, you're right, because Tua is going to be the biggest determining factor to that. But the strategy they'll use is the one they use in every single game that they've ever played on defense under McFrazier. Bend, don't break. You can have whatever the hell you want between these 20s, but after that, it's over.
Going over us.
So it's a wrap. Dolphins. Who's in Minnesota? Vikings. Braveheart. All right, Caveman. Dolphins, Vikings. Who wins?
Cousins.
I'm gonna say like honestly, I am not even because of that. I mean, I just the Vikings are just they're frauds, man. It's the second time I've used this word.
Frauds.
The team in the NFC, but they're frauds. Like it's the best way to put it. And the Dolphins, I think, are going to be as successful as they're gonna be allowed to be because of how talented the rest of the conference is. So what I mean is, like, I think they're gonna, really take a couple steps forward. I think Tua's gonna have the best year he's had in the NFL. They're really gonna cater to what his capabilities allow him to do. A lot of RPOs, a lot of getting guys open into open space, and just yards after catch is going to be the name of the game for the Dolphins, right? So, yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is.
It sounded like it.
Oh my god! The day I take the Vikings at anything, like honestly. But yeah. Long story short, I'm taking the Dolphins just because I think the Dolphins are going to be slightly better on the Actually, that's not true. That's not why I take the Dolphins. I just take the Dolphins because I don't like the Vikings. I'm not gonna try and BS some reason. Like the Vikings.
You're gonna love your shirt, K-Man. I'm making everybody's shirts for FAMbase, and they're all gonna be like custom to people.
Cousins #1 fan.
Yeah,
I want it on his from the front
100%,
of the shirt.
100%. All right, Jake. Dolphins, Vikings.
It's the Finns, man. Look, the Vikings, they're actually
no.
Thinking about it, Dalvin Cook.
That's
Justin
what they
Jefferson.
want you to think every year.
Yeah,
it's the same narrative.
I know. Yeah. Okay, so that Vikings defense, they're gonna be okay, but they're not gonna be fast enough to really stop the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are better on defense, most definitely.
The Vikings lost to the Lions.
Yeah,
it was the Lions' first win.
Bro, we lost to the Jaguars, bro. Like, come on, we can't be doing like, but no, yeah. If I had to put money on the game, I'd probably pick the Dolphins. But I've seen the Dolphins, especially last year. I mean, this is supposed to be a totally different team, and we'll see about that. They say that every time a new regime takes over. But I don't know. I've seen the Dolphins blow some games too, but I think that they should win this. On paper, the Dolphins should win this one. So yeah,
on paper, the Dolphins should win it. You are absolutely right, Jake. However,
Don't do it.
See,
give him
now,
the point,
Caveman,
Justus.
Caveman, I respect it. Okay, as a fellow hater myself, I get it. Okay, so, but the thing is, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, fast. I got it. Right, Gaskin, great backfield. I got it. But Jake started talking, and I started listening. I was like,
That's all they do is talk. That's all the Vikings are is talk.
All they're doing is talking.
So hold on. Let me finish. Justin Jefferson, Jay Jettis, Adam Thielen.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I think the Dolphins are probably slightly better talent-wise, but the only thing is, although the Vikings are always only talk, so are the Dolphins. And although you hate Kirk Cousins,
he hates Tua.
So
that's
with that being said, I'm gonna go because I trust Kirk Cousins to get the ball to Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen more than I trust Tua to get the ball to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. That's the only reason I'm going to go with the Vikings.
All right, October 16th, 1 p.m.
Of course, it's 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Couldn't be anything else.
1 p.m. at Hard Rock Stadium. We are going to witness whether or not Kirk Cousins is better than Tua.
We're going to see. It's a battle for the ages.
Do you guys remember last year the Vikings had, I just did the math, 29-7 lead over the Steelers going into the fourth quarter, and they nearly blew it. You guys remember that
29-7? I don't remember that.
29-7 going into the
But
fourth.
did they blow it? No, that's all that matters.
No, because Pat
they
Ryan
won?
would drop the touchdown at the end of the game.
Yeah.
That's why I don't remember it. If they lost, I probably remember. All right, Patriots, Lions. I mean,
come on.
I feel like this is pretty. Are we in agreement?
Yeah.
This is a clean sweep.
Yeah, like I like what the Lions are doing.
To be fair, yes, I like their draft because I feel like they got the best player right now in Aiden Hutchinson, and I feel like they got the best player in this draft in Jameson Williams. So I like their draft, but this game here, I think we're all probably going to go with Patriots.
Yeah, I would probably go Patriots.
Yeah. Right, Bill Belichick's not losing to the
Lions. All right,
but if he did, I'm gonna laugh all the way to the bank.
Last but not least, the Dookie Bowl, Jets versus the Bears. Actually, this is a pretty good
Dookie
matchup
Bowl?
because it's so terrible.
Bro.
It's such a crappy matchup that it's a good matchup. All right, so Caveman, who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Jets.
There you go.
I just they're just more. There's just more talent. I mean, there's only one way to evaluate this, and it's both quarterbacks are equally not bad, but
inexperienced.
They have high ceilings, but haven't improved much yet. And then outside of them, you have a Bears roster that's pretty bare bones. Then you got a Jets roster that's being built up. I really like Robert Saleh. I think he's just been waiting for the pieces to fall in his lap before he can really execute his plans. So I think the Jets here over the Bears.
Not mad at it. Jake, what you got?
Yeah, 100%. I would take the Jets all day and twice on Sunday. And
right.
you know me defending the Jets. I really like the Jets roster. I like what they're doing. I know some people, they just like to they crap on Zach Wilson like they do on Tua, and I understand. Like, but if you had to tell me, okay, these two quarterbacks are inexperienced, they're going in their second year, that's fine. What's the roster around them? The Jets have a much better roster around Zach Wilson than the Bears do around Justin Fields. Like, it's not even comparable if you look at it.
My man Corey, nobody said the Jets haven't improved. I don't think anybody
man,
said
no.
that.
I'm telling you right now, the Jets are the team in 2 years that I'm more worried about than the Patriots and the Dolphins. I'm telling you that right now. Like, that's the team I'm more worried about in the future than those other ones. So I like the Jets clean.
I'm going Bears just because I don't want this to be any more of a bloodbath than it already is. Okay. I'm going to say Justin Fields is just going to have some crazy year and he's going to be really good and people are going to be like, oh, he's awesome. All right.
Dog water
Is it? Oh, no, that's not my dog water bed.
No.
Oh, no. All right. Hell no, I ain't putting the dog water bed on that. Hell no. All right, let's add up the totals for the AFC versus the NFC team. All right, drum roll. The AFC tallied. Actually, okay, so we got 5, 10, 15.
Oh my God, he counting on you. You
20,
didn't have the numbers ready, bro.
I know.
25, 30, 35. I did have the numbers ready. I just thought that was an absolutely absurd number. 35, the NFC had 5, 10, 13.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
Yo, disgusting. Oh, Lord. We did exactly what I was trying not to do.
Dude, it's not even a question that just the AFC versus the NFC on paper. AFC has much better teams. It's like the damn West when LeBron was in the East. Like, it's just like the West had all the good teams out there and they're all beating up on each other. And, you know, there's a couple of teams in the East that are maybe contending. And right now that's Tom Brady sitting out there on the Bucks. And then you maybe have Matt Stafford, you know, chilling out on the Rams. And, you know, you got a couple of teams, maybe the 49ers. But other than that, you're like, I don't know. But in the East, you're like, dude, like the whole West could be those guys and the Bills. And
that's what I was about to say, actually. So when we do the numbers, the divisions that look like they might give it up the most and end up losing a lot is the NFC South losing to the AFC North and the NFC North losing to the AFC East. It's just not looking good for them guys. So those are the least competitive of the two competitive divisions. So we'll see. Obviously, there's a lot more games that go on. All these teams play each other. This mad calculus that I ain't doing right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was 35-13. The AFC in an absolute slaughter. So the Pro Bowl is going to be a bloodbath this year.
Throw in the damn towel.
Seriously,
Yeah.
like the NFC's Apollo Creed bad. Like,
yeah.
So that is our hour and 45 minute schedule.
Comprehensive breakdown.
Thank you. Jay is great with the words. This is why he does everything. Okay. That was our joint, guys. And if you don't know who we picked, then rewatch it.
There's an hour and 40 minutes for you to watch us
exactly
trashing teams, dude.
Exactly. All right. But yeah, so if you gentlemen have anything else that you guys wanted to say tonight, Jake, do you have any final thoughts for us tonight?
Man, I'm gonna say it. I feel like I had to say the same thing when the whole Brian Flores situation went down. Man, just love everybody, man. There's too much hate in the world. Like we use final thoughts. I could sit here and we could trash on Kirk Cousins a little bit more, but I feel like there's more important things for us to be talking about in society right now. And you know, the message stays the same, man. Just love everybody. Like it's barbaric. Like, you'd have to be a Neanderthal, not a caveman, to hate somebody based on the color of their skin. So
a Neanderthal, not a
Neanderthal.
caveman.
Yeah, not a caveman. Making that clear.
Yeah. All right. Caveman, you got anything for us tonight, bro?
Yeah, I mean, like Jake said, there's at the end of the day, I don't know who tweeted it out, but they said something that really put things into context, and it was like, I think it was either the Saturday that it happened or the day after, and he said, like, these are times where it makes us realize, we spend so much time watching sports, or football in particular, and it's like, it just doesn't matter. I mean, it really is, when you put it into context, it doesn't. And it really, really kind of humbled me in the sense that, I'm lucky enough to be able to care about things like that as much as I do, and be able to enjoy football and sports and such. But, there are bigger things in this world. There are bigger problems, and there are going to be bigger solutions that are along the way. And I'm, more than faithful and confident that not only our community will rebound, but there will be, eventual change to stop things like this from happening. And it might look bleak in terms of potential change, but I'm still gonna cling on to some hope that something will happen, so things like this just eventually come to a halt.
That's a big word, man. Hope. You
Absolutely.
hope that, like, there's still hope that comes out of this, even in the wake of tragedy.
Yes.
So
Absolutely. Thank you guys for those amazing words. And I echo those sentiments 100%. Rest in peace to all the victims, and love to everybody affected. Everybody, which, I mean, if you're a human, you were probably affected, so love to everybody. And I do want to say, before we get out of here, Coach Boom put a dog water, what are we calling them? Dog water bet?
Dog water bets.
Dog water bet. Coach Boom put a dog water bet in for himself. He said Peterman. What is his name? What's his first name?
Nate Peterman.
Nate Peterman is going to come in and throw 3 touchdowns for an upset this year. That is his dog water bet. We will see you in week 18, Coach Boom, because that's not happening. You will be coming live on the show drinking dog water.
Is he talking about, though, Nate Peterman comes and throws that against the Jets or against us? Because we were talking about Bears Jets.
We'll say any team, any game at all this year. If that happens, he wins the dog water bet.
If Nate Peterman comes in and throws 3 touchdowns and an upset win for the Bears this year, Coach Boom, you need some more free merch if that happens. That's crazy.
Yeah. But yes, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Shout out to my man Jake for coming through and joining myself and Caveman tonight. It was a great show. It was really fun. And you guys, as always, we appreciate you guys in the comment section. Appreciate all the. He did put LOL. Doesn't matter, Coach. Doesn't matter, Coach.
It's the dog water bet.
Dog water bet has been made. I already wrote it down, so it's written in stone. Okay. All right. But yes, we appreciate all the likes, comments, subscriptions, shares, tweets, Twitters, Facebooks, Instagram, all of it.
On the way out.
All that. Yes, please smash that like button. And thank you guys for supporting us. And you are tuned into the official network of the Original Bills Mafia. We are out. Go Bills.
Go Bills.